What's up, guys? This is Mason Tepesky here. We are going to recap the first week of the Steelers offseason, and boy, has it been interesting. First things first, we are not going to use any time on this, or very little time on this video to cover Russell Wilson signing. There is a whole separate video on that, and it's already up to 82 views. Thanks to all those viewers. I'm very appreciative for y'all. It means a lot. So, yeah, hopefully you're all tuned into this one too, but yeah, I think it's very important for sure to remember this. And so, yeah. Anyway, though, let's get right into it because this is a busy edition of the show, and it's been a hectic Steelers offseason. So, yeah, let's get to it. Tuesday, the Steelers signed Patrick Queen from the Ravens to a 3-year, $41 million contract, and they also re-signed Miles Killebrew. My grade for the Queen signing is a B, maybe even a C. I like the player, and I like the impact he's going to have. It's just, I think we have a lot of linebackers right now, and we need work on offense, which we'll get to for sure later. I would give, that's a great deal getting Queen, but I think they overpaid by like $5 or $6 million, possibly. So I'll give that a B. But I'm eager to see the impact he has for sure. The move I liked of the day, though, was re-signing Miles Killebrew. I think it was a 2-year deal. I was super happy about that. That gets an A. He's one of the guys I wanted back, so yeah, glad to see him back. On Wednesday, the big news of the day on Wednesday was the fact that quarterback Mason Rudolph, who led the Steelers to an amazing stretch run there at the end, left the Steelers to go to the Tennessee Titans. I was really sad about this for us, but I'm really happy for Mason Rudolph. He deserved that, so I'm psyched that he's going to Nashville. He's going to get an opportunity to back up an amazing quarterback. Actually, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL, so I'm super happy for Mason. I'll give that an A+ for the Titans. So we should have never let him go. I think we should have made a better offer. I was reading out there somewhere, I forget who it was, I'm sorry, but it said we didn't make an offer. I think that was a mistake, especially once you get to what happened later in the week. Well, yesterday corrected it, and it actually bettered it, but yeah, I think that he was good. I would have loved to see him back. However, I just don't know if Mason Rudolph wanted to be back, so I think this is a great place for him, and I think he's going to love Nashville, so good job by him. Thursday, we actually had my second favorite signing of free agency behind the Russell Wilson one because I was obviously a pro-Wilson person for the longest time now. But I really loved signing Deshaun Elliott. That was a 2-year, $6 million deal. I think that was a bargain of a deal. Give me an A+. So I was psyched that we signed Deshaun Elliott. I always loved that guy from Detroit, the Dolphins, and now here. So thank goodness Deshaun Elliott is a Pittsburgh Steeler. I'm psyched. Literally psyched about that. A+ for sure. And we also re-signed Montravius Adams. I'll give that a B. I think it was a great deal to bring him back. So, yeah, I think that was an incredible move as well. I don't think anybody, left that day. Oh, I never mentioned this, but earlier this offseason, the Steelers did cut Chukwuma Okorafor, Mitchell Trubisky, and Presley Harvin. Trubisky got a contract in Buffalo, and Okorafor got a contract with the Patriots. So just wanted to bring that up. Friday, all these guys, Wilson, Queen, and Elliott, were introduced. It was great press conferences, great everything. However, that was certainly not the biggest news of the day. The biggest news of the day, in fact, was Kenny Pickett, our now former starting quarterback, getting traded from the Steelers to his hometown Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a third-round pick this year, 2 7th-round picks in 2025, and we also had to send, I think, a 4th back to the Eagles. When you look at it now, this was an amazing deal for both parties. Amazing. We'll get into Justin Fields in a minute here, but the fact that the Eagles offered, I did read this actually, Eagles made an offer for Justin Fields and the Bears declined it. Considering what was given up for him, and I promise you, we're gonna get to that. But I think they made a grave mistake, the Eagles. I would have offered a third-round pick for Fields. They offered a third-round pick for Kenny Pickett. I think they screwed up. I really do. I do. So I think that was a mistake on Philly's part. I think we benefited by getting a third out of that and the 2 7ths. We did trade away a 4th, but it's nice to move up some. So yeah, I'm very happy that deal was made. That I'd give us an A+, and I'd give Philly probably a B, just because they made a stupid offer for Fields. That's what you're essentially telling me, considering the return for Fields that was given to him. I'm not saying too much because I'm going to get into it. But I think that was stupid by them. I think they made a mistake. They're going to regret it. I think so. Them and Kenny. And now this is the next part of the segment where I'm going to share my thoughts on Kenny Pickett. I really want this guy to succeed. I'm a big Kenny Pickett fan. His attitude, though, was sucked. There's no doubt about it. He's a loser. His attitude resembles that of a loser. Last night, and I didn't think it was a big deal, because, there's a lot of people like from Penn State, West Virginia, all those fan bases who have nothing really to brag about and have more issues, I think, than they do successes. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like Penn State and West Virginia at all, because I like them. Even though I go to Pitt and I like Pitt, I like them. Their fans, though, some of their fans have the worst possible attitudes. All they do is want to just be bullies. When was the last time Pitt bullied Penn State? Although you all know by now, I was a Penn State fan growing up. I did get bullied a lot by Pitt people for being a Penn Stater, so I shouldn't say that because, yeah. So I shouldn't say that. But I don't think Pitt does a whole lot of horrible to WVU fans. When we went to the Backyard Brawl this year, it was like crazy. Like, that's their passing, and I respect Penn State and WVU fans for that. However, you should not complain and harass Kenny Pickett on his way out because of that. I get WVU fans and Penn State are saying, ha, 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 Kenny Pickett's done, Pitt failed, blah, blah, blah. Penn State, before you want to talk about Pitt, try beating Ohio State and Michigan. WVU, try having a basketball team that's better than 9-23. And don't have two coaches turn down your job vacancy either. Because CBS said 2 profile coaches turned down your job vacancy. So Penn State and WVU, you want to play that game? We'll play right back. Because there's nothing, really, that's that special about either of your schools. Anyway, now, putting Penn State and WVU aside, because they are great schools. They really are great schools, and they are special schools, but some people's attitudes you can never change. But anyway, though, back to that. Yes, Kenny Pickett is a loser. I just said that. His attitude on the way out was ridiculous. And I can be like that, too. And I'll admit it. I'll be honest with you. I can be like that, and it's not a good thing. It's an awful thing. Would confirm this. And I was, supporting Kenny Pickett, and I still do support Kenny Pickett, even in Philly. He's still one of my favorite players, and I still hope he does very good. But last night, it's actually one of my favorite TV shows. I don't have time to watch it because I'm busy throughout the week, so I've been kind of catching up, binge watching on it this week, but The Bachelor. There's these 2 girls, Sydney and Maria, who clearly don't like each other. The Bachelor's named Joey, who ironically is from Philadelphia, takes them both out on a date on a boat near Italy. I think it's, Malia, I want to, I forget the country's name. Sorry about that. But he's on a boat with these 2 girls, and They don't talk to each other. It's okay they don't talk to each other. They don't like each other if you don't want. And that's how you do it. That is maturity right there. If you don't like somebody and they're with you, you just don't talk to them. You don't insult them, and you don't do any of that. And I think that's what a lot more football players and politicians need to learn. They need to watch that episode of The Bachelor, because when you're in a room with somebody you don't like, it's probably best to not talk to them at all. Period. And I should take my own advice. I really should. Just some people get on my nerves too much. Period. But they just didn't talk to each other. And when The Bachelor Joey comes in and talks to them both, he sends home Sydney and keeps Maria. Sydney was visibly upset in her after interviews. She was not happy at all. But she just said, I can't, and then just started crying. She didn't say anything ill about Maria, and she didn't act like a baby about it. She handled it much more maturely and much more responsibly than Kenny Pickett handled this. Kenny Pickett is not a jerk. Kenny Pickett is not a punk. However, Kenny Pickett is a loser. And Kenny Pickett's pretty darn dumb. Let's look at Philadelphia's starting quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is actually younger than Kenny Pickett, believe it or not, despite entering the league 2 years early. Russell Wilson's 35. And it's a 1-year deal. Hurts is under contract in Philadelphia till the final year, till the conclusion of 2028. So yeah. The fact of the matter is, and I can't say this about Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow happened before COVID, but I probably could. If Joe Burrow wouldn't have had that great year at LSU. Anyway, though, back to the facts. So, yeah, Pickett's in a worse situation now because Russell Wilson's in the twilight of his career, and he could mentor Kenny Pickett. And now Kenny Pickett's going behind somebody where instead of being mentored, he's just going to ride the bench. So, yeah. He is an idiot. He was very dumb for making this decision. He could have gone traded to the Vikings, played again with Jordan Addison, his teammate at Pitt, and Justin Jefferson if he stays. Sorry about that. I know I was talking about Joe Burrow, but I got a phone call, so I had to take that. So sorry to be interrupted there. But anyway. Back to Joe Burrow real quick. If he wouldn't have had that great year at LSU, he would have been probably a third, fourth, maybe fifth round pick. Career backup. But he had a great year at LSU. Fortunately enough, he was drafted into a situation with young offensive minds. He was drafted, he got Jamar Chase, and he went off. And I think Chase is the primary reason for Burrow's success. And Burrow and Chase made up the Bengals, and we found that out this year. Kenny Pickett, if it weren't for COVID, would have been a 6th round draft pick. And that's a third stringer. So really, he was never meant to be a starting quarterback in this league. Just like Trace McSorley, just like Sean Clifford, and just like others, they were never meant to be starters. Pickett got lucky. So yeah. I always thought Kenny could have been the franchise quarterback. I liked him the end of 2022 going into 2023. However, I never thought he would be elite. Like Mahomes, Allen, Stroud, Burrow, Hurts. Never. So yeah. That's just my thoughts on it. I mean, I'm upset with people's attitudes, the way people are treating him on the way out. You shouldn't bully him. Shouldn't put him down. He was great. He was very nice to people, and he was always a member of the community. But at the same time, he was kind of rude and nasty on his way out, too. I mean, you went to college here. And it's a bad look, too, for the school, I feel like, in a way. So it's unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. Fingers crossed that Nate Yarnell's Pitt's answer. So hopefully he doesn't get drafted. Hopefully he does better than Kenny Pickett, but he doesn't get drafted to the Steelers. That's all I'm going to say. And how's Geno Smith doing? God, Sam Howell? Maybe Sam Howell can unseat Geno Smith for all the Mountaineer faithful. So we'll see that. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Go Seahawks in that regard. And go Sam Howell. Anyway, though, the big splash of the day came yesterday. Well, not biased because Wilson was awesome earlier in the week. But the Steelers acquired Justin Fields from the Bears in exchange for a 2025 conditional 6th-round pick that can become a 4th. Should Fields play 51% of the snaps. So as long as Russell Wilson makes it through like week 9, week 10, week 11, and plays every snap, that's a 6th-round pick. So they're betting on Wilson to make it till like Thanksgiving, which I think he can. I mean, I think he's good, and I hope he does. But let's talk more about Fields. This was a steal. And back to Philly. I cannot believe they didn't offer a 3rd or a 4th this year for Justin Fields. That is the dumbest decision ever made by a general manager. Omar Khan made an amazing move getting these 2 quarterbacks. There's no doubt in my mind. He did the right thing this week with the quarterback position. No doubt in my mind. We have the best quarterback room in the NFL. The only team I would say is the better backup than Pittsburgh, and it's just because of the system they run and any quarterback can succeed there, are the San Francisco 49ers. Because, I mean, Brock Purdy was a 3rd stringer and he came in and did well. And San Francisco backups have done well in the past. So, quarterbacks, that's the only one. Other than San Francisco, I don't think there is anybody. But I'm so happy to have Fields. Hopefully he's here. Hopefully they're both here beyond this year. Hopefully we could have 2, maybe 3 good years out of Wilson. And then Fields is ready. I think this is very similar to what Green Bay has done. I think that's what they're trying to mold here in Kansas City, which is exactly what I wanted them to do. And I think it's best. I think it's going to work. It might not get a Super Bowl for another 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years. However, it's the right thing. Green Bay did it. It's working great. Kansas City did it. It worked excellently. So that's why I like this. Justin Fields might not be a rookie. However, Justin Fields can still learn from Russell Wilson for 2 or 3 years. Just like how Love learned from Rodgers and Mahomes learned from Smith. I think Justin Fields is going to be an elite starting quarterback in this league sooner rather than later. However, it's Russell Wilson's time now. We cannot have a divide as to who's to be the starter. This is Russell Wilson's job. It's obvious. Now, if Russell Wilson does not do good in the season, you go to Justin Fields. But Justin Fields now is starting over. This is his chance. And I hope he's very successful. To conclude, I haven't heard a lot from Penn Staters in regards to an Ohio State quarterback coming in and being the future of the Steelers. How do you guys like that? Maybe comment on that. So, definitely interesting, that's for sure. Hope the Penn Staters really love an Ohio Stater being the starter. Oh, better yet, or good news too, Wisconsin. That's where the new Steelers starting quarterback's from. One of the Big Ten schools I actually like, so wonder how Wisconsin-Ohio State quarterback room makes the Penn Staters feel. Maybe they could comment down bottom on that. So definitely interesting. That is for sure. Definitely crazy times. Sorry if I got a little feisty here. I'm just trying to stand up for my school and people's attitudes from West Virginia, people's attitudes from Penn State. Can't change that. They need to check. They need to check and see what they're doing. Maybe try winning bowl games. You guys lost the Pete's Bowl this year to Ole Miss. Maybe West Virginia, you could try having a basketball program that doesn't have a head coach who drives drunk throughout the streets of Pittsburgh during Taylor Swift concert. So yeah, that's where you can start. That's where you can start. It might not have been the best years for Pitt, but Pitt will be back. And Morgantown and State College, we'll see how you feel then. So, yeah, I am, in the overall grand scheme of things, back to the Steelers side of it, I'm really happy for them. They're making the right decisions, that's for sure. Great to see. So, yeah, just need to check the time. I have something going on here in a couple more minutes. So, that's all I have for you guys. Here's I check this clock. Why can't I get the clock going? All right, that's all I have for you guys. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. And as always, peace. Here we go, Steelers.